Okay, let's dive right into this. We are tackling a massive, and I mean massive, shift happening right now in how the world does business. We're talking about global procurement, and honestly, it's about to get a major, almost sci-fi level upgrade. We're going to look at how open standards are fundamentally transforming multi-party commerce and, crucially, integrating artificial intelligence. If you've been wondering how autonomous AI agents can actually be brought into highly regulated, multi-million-dollar corporate environments safely and accountably, well, you are definitely in the right place. Welcome to this explainer. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with 1, the walled garden, 2, entering the guild paradigm, 3, the SIGNET standard, 4, the harness layer, 5, AI agents in action, and wrap up with 6, the open commerce future.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the $13 trillion walled garden.
$13 trillion. Let that number sink in for a second. That is the size of the global procurement market today. It's staggering. But despite that sheer scale, this market is currently built almost entirely on closed platforms. These legacy systems, well, they basically extract rent from both buyers and suppliers. They lock your commercial data behind proprietary walls, they actively resist interoperability, and the craziest part? They completely fail to leverage the modern AI capabilities that are transforming literally every other domain of software right now. This means businesses, maybe even yours, are paying a steep premium just to play the game.
And this brilliantly illustrates the crossroads we're at. On one hand, you've got the old proprietary walls, rent extraction, vendor lock-in, endless data silos. But on the other, we have a totally new alternative proposed by a neutral consortium called the Consort Foundation. We're talking about new open ecosystems. This is a future built on shared governance, cryptographic trust, and decentralized data sovereignty, a world where you actually own your commercial data.
Which brings us to Section 2, entering the guild paradigm.
GUILD is a really handy acronym that defines the 5 essential properties of this new framework. First, it's governed by rules as code and actual AI board oversight. Second, it's unified, using existing open standards like PEPPOL and UBL as a common language. Third, it's intelligent, meaning AI agents can work securely right alongside humans. Fourth, it's linked, using technologies like solid pods so data stays with the participants instead of sitting in some giant central warehouse. And finally, it's decentralized, utilizing verifiable credentials to ensure absolutely zero vendor lock-in. This right here, this is the framework for safe cooperation between human and synthetic agents.
This all builds into a functional ecosystem that relies on a specific trinity. First up, you have the steward, the Consort Foundation, a neutral nonprofit that governs the intellectual property and standards. Second, you have the standard itself, known as SIGNET, which is a completely open, model-agnostic specification. And third, you have the operator, a commercial entity, like SCORE, for example, which takes that standard and builds out the actual production infrastructure and managed services.
Let's dig a little deeper into that standard in Section 3, the SIGNET standard explained.
So SIGNET stands for Secure, Intelligent, Governed Network for Exchange and Trade. I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but you can basically think of it as the canonical data model for procurement. It's the open specification, the rulebook, that ensures when human and synthetic AI agents interact, negotiate, and trade, they do it all under shared, mathematically provable governance.
If we look at the JSON schema for SIGNET, it's structured into 4 distinct layers. Layer 1 is the foundation, your basic identifiers, parties, and documents. Layer 2 is the process, the actual flow from needs to contracts. Layer 4 is trust, handling provenance and consent. But look right there at Layer 3, the agent layer. This is SIGNET's truly original contribution. It introduces synthetic agents, mandates, and policies as first-class objects. That means AI isn't just a chatbot sitting on the side giving you tips. It is an accountable, fully governed participant doing the actual work.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, the procurement harness layer. So the absolutely crucial point here is this equation. Agent equals model plus harness. Today, underlying AI models, whether you're talking about OpenAI, Anthropic, or Google, they're becoming increasingly interchangeable, right? The real leverage, the actual value, lies in whoever builds the execution layer that the model runs through. That execution layer is the harness. It provides the memory, the strict policy adherence, the sandboxing, and the verification that actually makes the AI safe to use in a corporate setting.
And SIGNET is designed from the ground up to be the ultimate procurement harness. It is strictly model agnostic, meaning you can swap out the underlying AI brain anytime without rewriting the system. It's tool agnostic and it's organization agnostic.
It's simply this beautiful, neutral, verifiable execution layer that transforms raw AI intelligence into governed procurement actions. It completely levels the playing field for the global market.
Let's see what this actually looks like in Section 5, AI Agents in Action.
The developers have actually provided 3 runnable demonstrations. And the big takeaway here is that all 3 use the exact same harness. The exact same architecture manages a governed contract award, a conditional supplier onboarding, and a deterministic reverse auction. This proves, definitively, that giving an AI agent autonomy and maintaining strict, auditable governance are not in tension with each other at all. The harness is what makes that autonomy safe to grant in the first place.
Let's look at the first demo. An AI agent is tasked with a €12 million contract award. Now, what's really interesting here is how the AI evaluates the bids. It doesn't just blindly pick the cheapest option. It is bound by a published policy with very specific weights: 20% for price, 55% for quality, and 25% for social impact. Because of this harness, the AI agent actually awarded the contract to a more expensive €11.4 million bid. Why? Because it scored a higher combined total of 0.859 compared to the cheaper bid's 0.841. It executed a fully governed, logically justified price premium.
In the second demo, an AI agent is handling supplier qualification. The supplier easily passes the credentials and sanctions checks, but their financial standing only covers €5 million, not the full €12 million tier they applied for. Now, instead of a blunt, binary pass or fail, the AI uses nuanced reasoning to grant a conditional qualification capped at €5 million. And because attaching conditions is technically outside its fully autonomous scope, the harness automatically records verifiable human approval for that specific condition. It's humans and AI working perfectly in tandem.
The third demo is wild. It shows a deterministic reverse auction. You basically have 2 bidding agents aggressively undercutting each other under a neutral AI auctioneer. It's literally 2 robots haggling at the speed of light. The winner ultimately takes the auction at €11.0 million without ever having to reveal its absolute lowest mandate floor to the buyer. And because the underlying code and harness are deterministic, rerunning the auction will always yield the exact same result. It mathematically turns auction fairness into a verifiable conformance property. No bias, just math.
Which brings us to our final section, the open commerce future. Because, let's be real, open standards only matter if they can actually scale. And SIGNET isn't starting from scratch. It builds upon and integrates seamlessly with proven, existing global infrastructure, like the PEPPOL network. Currently, there are over 2.54 million PEPPOL participants globally, representing over €26 billion in combined annual spend. SIGNET is designed to map directly into the systems these millions of participants are already using. We aren't building a new network from scratch. We're instantly upgrading the global commerce nervous system that's already out there.
Just to give you a concrete example, let's look at strict regulatory compliance. The SIGNET process layer includes a bridge directly to the EN 1693 standard. This means a network running SIGNET can automatically project its canonical invoices into the exact PEPPOL BIS or UBL XML formats required for European Union cross-border tax compliance. If you deal with EU tax compliance, you know it's a massive headache. But SIGNET mathematically reconciles the net and VAT totals perfectly, seamlessly bridging the fast-paced world of autonomous AI agents with the incredibly rigorous world of international tax law.
Which leaves us with a pretty profound realization about the future of multi-party commerce. When we have an open standard like SIGNET, where AI agents can negotiate, evaluate, and award multi-million-dollar contracts provably, accountably, and transparently, why on earth would global commerce ever choose to go back behind the closed, rent-extracting walls of legacy platforms? Think about it. It's a fundamental shift in how the world trades, and it is happening right now. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you a clear, structured view into the incredible potential of open standards.